Yippee-ki-yay, guys! Welcome back! This is History of Digimon Digital Monsters Season 1, Episode 33 of my show, but this is about Episode 32. This is about Episode 32, but it's Episode 33 of my show, but it's about Episode 32. And before I actually start talking about it, I want to mention to you guys how my trip went, and before I do that, I want to say thank you all for your support with the channel, stuff like that, and get that out of the way. Now I'll just explain to you guys how my trip went. I had an amazing trip to Toronto this past weekend. I got to see like 3 sporting events. I got to see Raptors basketball game, Toronto Maple Leafs, and Toronto Marlies hockey games also. And I did a little sightseeing and stuff like that, like not much, but I did a bit of sightseeing, not a whole lot. And the hotel I stayed at with my dad was the Fairmont Royal York Hotel and stuff like that, which in my opinion was a kind of fancy hotel. Now getting into the actual storyline of the episode, this is History of Digimon Digital Monsters Season 1, Episode 33 of my show, but it's about Episode 32. And before I actually start talking about it again, I just want to mention to you guys, thank you for all your support with the channel, stuff like that. I wanted to get that out of the way. And now I'll just talk about the episode. Like I said, this is History of Digimon Digital Monsters Season 1, Episode 33 of my show, but it's about Episode 32. And now getting into the actual story of the episode. This episode is, in English dub, Episode 32 is called Gatomon Comes Calling, which, in my opinion, is kind of which focuses on both Kari and Gatomon and stuff like that, mostly. What happens is, in the morning, the kids are on the train area heading to, they're on another train, and they're heading to an area to talk about things. And they see some images of, like, they see the results of what happened in the previous video when Izzy and Edamon battled Ramon and stuff like that. And then what happens is, when they get to where they're talking, they say, did anyone of them see the news report on TV and stuff? And they say that. And then Sora says, like, yeah, and stuff like that. And then Matt says that more and more of my Otismons, like, Digibozos are popping up all over the place. And then Ty says that this time they're actually really there. And then Agumon is asking Ty what he means by that. And he's saying that last time they showed up, they were there, but only Kari and him could see them, and everyone else actually walked right by them like they weren't even there and stuff. And I think that's probably because they hadn't actually crossed through the dimensions and stuff like that, is what I mean. And then what happens after that is Matt saying that he doesn't like it if they can be seen and they're physically there, and if they're physically there, they can cause a lot of trouble and stuff. And then TK is wondering, like, how much, and then Matt's like, do I really have to remind you what those evil Digimon are capable of? And then it shows some images of all the other evil Digimon that they showed in their face in the past, like Shellmon, Devamon, Kuwagamon, Edamon, every one of them up to that point. And then what happens is, Izzy's wondering, like, they're wondering what, like, the rest of them are wondering what to do and stuff. And then Izzy says that he has a theory, but before you can explain the theory, Joe, like, freaks out. He's like, stop! I want to hear Izzy's theory. Don't say it until I get there. I love Izzy's theories and stuff, which is kind of comically funny. And then Ty says, alright, well, we won't start without you. And then when Izzy starts explaining his theory, it shows another flashback scene of when they first saw the two Digimon, the different version of Greymon and the bird-like Digimon, which once again I'll explain later, which was Paramount. I'll explain more about them when I get to episode 45 of this season, but I won't. I don't know exactly what episode of my show that'll be and stuff. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. And he's saying that he's already concluded that when they saw the Digimon 4 years ago, everyone, including the child, was there, and it's also safe to assume that they were given a Digivice for a reason. And then he said that it references the previous episode where he said that last night he picked up an unidentified Digivice reading, and he said that obviously he lost the signal, but he seems like the Digimon was in the right area and stuff. And then what happens after that is Mimi's wondering about the phone booths again, and that's what their phone booths are for. Like phone books are for. They have to, because he theorizes that the child is in one of those phone books and stuff, which is kind of right and stuff like that, I gotta say. And then what happens after that is what happens after that is they all want to. Then Joe's recommending that she do some of the phone calling, as long as his parents don't find out about it, because he's got to study for school and stuff. And then Todd is wondering about the school, about Joe studying when it's summertime and stuff, and then Joe is saying that he wants to get like a head start, and this time of year he's gonna be really prepared and stuff like that. And then what happens is they all start giving Joe their phone books and stuff, so that he can phone everyone in theirs. And then when Ty walks up to Joe and stuff, he says that he said, "Oh no, Ty, I you too." And then Ty saying that Joe doesn't have to worry about it. And then Troy's like, "I don't think it is. I bet he forgot to get his phone book." And then he's like, "Oh, well." And then he's like, "Well, what made you get?" And then after that, there's another little confrontation with Gatomon when she shows up and she's looking for the 8th child, and then she comes across Kari, like she's saying that, "Where's that glue? All these are playing fun with the kid and laughing, and then she's telling them to laugh it up, because when my oldest man takes over the world, you won't be laughing." And then she starts walking and stuff, and then what happens is Kari crosses paths with Gatomon, and then what happens after that is Kari's wondering if Gatomon's one of them, like one of the Digimon, and then she starts acting like a real cat, and then and then Agumon is wondering if Gatomon is like a friend of Agumon's and stuff like that, and then Gatomon is thinking to herself that Kari knows about Agumon and that it's possible. Like, at this point, she's not exactly sure that Kari is the 8th child as well. Oh, and also, 2 videos from now, I'm gonna explain a bit about Gatomon's like backstory and stuff. Like, she's got a bit of a backstory, like I said when I did the videos for the 20 section, which I believe was one of the videos for episode 28 of my show, but about episode 27, where I said that she may have been evil and on my oldest one. Like, she may have been on my oldest one's side, but she wasn't actually evil and stuff. I said she was just mixed up. I'll just explain what I mean by that when I get to the video for episode 34 of season 1. I'll explain more about that. I just thought I'd get that out of the way. And then Gatomon is following Kari around, and then when they get to the house, Kari is telling Gatomon that she can come in because their mom's not home and stuff. And then what happens after that is after they get in the house and stuff, um, it goes over to where Mimi and Sora are with their partners and stuff, and they're pretending that Digimon and Palmon are babies and stuff like that. And what happens is after that, um, what happens after that is they keep going with it, and then Mimi says she knows how they feel, because even the heat that they're in is just enough to make her cranky. Now I just explain a bit more about Mimi right now, if you guys don't mind. At the end of this season and at the start of the second season, she will be in the second season, but she won't be in the Japan area, like, cause after this season she'll be in the American area in New York and stuff. I'll explain more about that when I do the last video for this first season and stuff. I'll explain more about the characters and stuff at that point. And there's also the last video of this arc. There will be an image of a Digimon that shows up in a news report. I'll explain who the human is in the area that sees that Digimon, and I'll just reference the second season. Like, I won't talk much about it until I get to that point, but I'll just reference it. I just thought I'd get that out of the way for you guys and stuff. Now, getting back into the story of the episode. Sora's wondering if they should go anywhere to get a better view of the city, and then Mimi says that they should go to the tower, and then what happens after that is she's saying that when they get to the tower, she's saying that they have good view in the air conditioning, and then Sora's saying that she should have guessed that Mimi would have had some other ulterior motive and stuff, which is kind of funny. It's funny, really, it is. And then what happens after that is when they're in the tower, this weird this Digimon that's disguised by having a coat on shows up, and then Mimi kind of insults his coat, and then what happens is after that, and then when the fire involves the coat. Now I'll just explain who the version, the Digimon in the coat. Sorry, the Digimon in the coat is. Oh, and I should just reference it. His name is called SkullMeramon. If you guys remember back to my video about episode 5, like my video for episode 4, episode 5 of my show, but about episode 4 where I used the clips where I introduced Meramon. This is a different version of Meramon. He's called SkullMeramon and stuff, like I said. And his special attack in this series is kind of like Meramon's, except it's called Metal Fireball, and which basically he shoots the fire out of his mouth and stuff like that. I thought I'd just get that out of the way. And then when they see the tower bending and stuff, Titan uses his mini telescope to take a look at it, and then he sees Bergeron flying out the window, and then they go to fight him. And then what happens is when they're on when Izzy and Tai and Agumon are on Kabuteramon, Izzy is asking Agumon who this Digimon is, but as I said, his name is SkullMeramon and stuff. And then when his character model shows up, Agumon is saying that SkullMeramon's element is fire, and that he can totally dish it out and stuff. And then while they're fighting him, Bergemon gets, then SkullMeramon uses his metal fireball attack, like I explained, where she shoots out of his mouth. And then Agumon digivolves, then it goes to the scene where they're digivolving to the champion level, and Agumon digivolves to Greymon, And then what happens is after that, then Greymon uses his Nova Blast attack, but it doesn't actually work on him, and then Pi makes a little remark about that. He's like, great, all that did was... And then he's like, great, now you really made him mad. He swallowed that Nova Blast like a hot fudge sundae. And then he's like, all that did was make him stronger. Unless Greymon digivolved again, he's toast. And then Greymon then goes to the scene where they're digivolving to the ultimate level, and Greymon digivolves to Metal Greymon to fight him. And then after it gets by the scene where they're digivolving to the ultimate level, SkullMeramon uses one of his chains to grab Metal Greymon's hand, and then he uses his then Metal Greymon uses his Mega Claw attack, and then SkullMeramon grabs the thing with his little chain that he has. And then Metal Greymon uses that to his advantage, and then he uses his Giga Blaster attack, and that totally destroys SkullMeramon and stuff like that. And then after that, there's another little scene where Kari is having a confrontation with Gatomon, and Kari's wanting Gatomon to come to her and stuff. And then what happens is she starts wobbling and she falls off the couch, the top of the couch that she's on, and then Kari's wondering if she's leaving already, and but she'll come back. And then Gatomon's thinking, her sweetness made me lose my head, but next time I'll be back and I'll be ready for her. And then there's this little news reporter saying that although it's not clear where these monsters came from, it's clear that the Earth is at some kind of crossroads, and he's like, the question is, on which road does our destiny await? And that's basically where the episode stops. So if you guys like this video on YouTube, just please give it the real best you guys can, and I'll see you guys next time. Keep it digital, guys!